Hey y'all, this is Liz Hill. Welcome back to my kitchen. For dessert week, I am doing red velvet, white chocolate, cheesecake, cupcakes. I'm not really a baker, I'm really more of a cook. So when I do bake, I try to do traditional things, but to take it to an appropriate level of decadence, which dessert needs to be really, really decadent, I think. I'm adding this cream cheese, taking red velvet cake and adding this cream cheese layer to it just to make it really special. We're going to start by making the filling. What you want to do is take 2 room temperature blocks of Philadelphia cream cheese. Obviously these are the 8-ounce blocks, so that's 16 ounces total. 6 tablespoons of beaten egg. You also want this room temperature. When you have certain ingredients at room temperature, it makes it bake better. Half cup of sugar. 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And just get that going all together. You want to mix this until it's really well blended. As you can see, I've gotten it all combined. So when you got it like that, you just want to take 1 cup of white chocolate chips and put it in there. And just mix until it's blended. And this is going to be your filling. So for the cake, the red velvet cake, which is, like I said, one of my favorites. I just really, really love it. We've got 1 cup of flour. So that's 1 cup. There is half a teaspoon of salt in that already. This is 1/3 of natural unprocessed cocoa. You want natural unprocessed cocoa. You can use less red food coloring if you use that. If you want, you can just totally omit the food coloring, but I like the combination of the natural unprocessed cocoa and then the extra boost of red that you get from the food coloring. So we put the cocoa in, and we're going to sift that through. You can do this with a whisk if you want. You can do it with a regular sifter. I like this method because it's faster. 3/4 of a cup of regular granulated sugar and vegetable oil, which this is 2/3 of a cup. Once you have that all blended, what you want to do is take an egg that's been beaten, add that, and then blend that coloring. I'm using 1 tablespoon. Look at that. It's so pretty. So carefully mix that in so that it doesn't splash. That's why I like this great big bowl. When that's all incorporated, you want to take your flour mix, which is your cocoa, your salt, and your flour, and you want to do that in batches. Now, when your first part of the flour is in, you want to start with your buttermilk. I use half a cup of buttermilk, and I'm going to probably put about half of that in and incorporate that. And once that's kind of in there, not fully incorporated, I'm going to go back with another part of flour. As you can see, I'm just letting it get to the moistened stage, get all the dry part mostly moist. I'm not even getting it all the way in. And then I'm going to come back with the rest of my buttermilk and the rest of my flour. Now I'm doing that all together this time. See this gorgeous batter. Now for the little magic part. What we have in a small dish, you want to have 1/2 teaspoon baking soda. Try something new. I love balsamic vinegar. So I used white balsamic. And we're going to go with 3/4 teaspoon. When I add it, you're going to see a little magic. It foams up. It's very cool. And it's going to make your cake and cupcakes light. And help them rise. So we just get this going. Make sure it's all mixed in. And then we're going to add it to the batter. Make sure it all gets in there. Those are my dogs. And I guess they wanted to be on the tape. I think somebody once told me that it's not a kitchen unless you have dogs or kids in it. So I have dogs in mine. Now with the addition of the vinegar and baking soda, you can see that it's gotten a beautiful sheen on it. And we're ready to put it in our cupcake tins. So you want to line your muffin tin and take kind of a serving 2 tablespoons into the bottom of your cup. And when I say tablespoon, I mean this kind of a tablespoon, not necessarily a measuring spoon. You can measure it if you want, but I'm eyeballing it. That's the cook in me. Okay, and then a big kind of heaping spoon of your filling. And just put that right on top. As you can see, it kind of spreads out on its own. Those nice white chocolate chips in there. And go back with 1 heaping spoon of your batter. And let that go across and cover your filling. You can see it's pretty easy and fast. And do that for the rest of your cupcakes. While your cupcakes are in the oven, you want to go ahead and make your icing. So to get started, we want to take 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter. And the extra thing in this is 2 tablespoons of lard. You can use shortening if you want to, but lard is fabulous. And since we're talking about something that's going to give you an appropriate level of decadence, this is a dessert, you don't eat it all the time, it really gives this cream cheese icing body. And you want to complement your Philadelphia cream cheese with something that's going to make it beautiful on your cupcakes as well. So we got the lard in there. We want to get these 2 guys combined. You can see it's all nicely melted together. We want to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla. You want to take your Philadelphia cream cheese, and in this recipe we're going to use 2 8-ounce blocks, and you want to first add half of 1 block and 1 cup of confectioner's sugar. I'm using a half cup measure here, so 2 scoops. You're going to use at least 3 cups of confectioner's sugar in this recipe. At the end you can adjust according to your taste. I've mixed the first part, and we have another half a block of cream cheese in, Philadelphia cream cheese, and another cup of confectioner's sugar, and we're going to add half a teaspoon of buttermilk to help it mix in. This is all beautifully blended together, as you can see. It's going to be really awesome in a bag. Got a lot of body to it, just sweet enough. Turns out I used just 3 cups of confectioner's sugar and a total of 1 teaspoon of the buttermilk. So we'll go get our cupcakes, and we'll get our pastry bag and a little pretty tip and get them decorated up very nice. Our beautiful cupcakes are out of the oven, and they just they smell so good, and I'm excited to get to eat one. But first we're going to put this lovely icing on. I like to start on the outside. And as you can see, this cream cheese icing holds a beautiful edge. I like to start with a little tip there in the middle, make a little flower. Then I took half a cup of white chocolate chips. I use Ghirardelli white chocolate, a really nice white chocolate, because it's going to be right on the top. You just want to take a little of that and sprinkle it right on top. And that is our red velvet white chocolate cheesecake cupcake made with lots of luscious Philadelphia cream cheese. And I'm very happy to get to share it with you. I'm going to take a bite of one here in just a second. I'm not going to eat the whole thing, but I want to. And as you can see, our white chocolate cheesecake filling is beautiful right there in the middle. And it's very tender. It's falling apart. It's really, really good. I hope you enjoy this. These are just fabulous cupcakes full of great Philadelphia cream cheese.